Yo, what is going on, guys? This is your boy TrevCL here, and I am back with NPL Week 5 of Season 6. Now this week we play Carnie Hobo and his Vancouver Stealth Rocks, and while he has yet to claim a win, in fact a lot of his losses have been pretty large, I still can't take it easy this week, as I feel like his team actually has a pretty decent matchup against mine. In fact, a really good matchup. And it's definitely not a bad team at all. Very scary. A lot of big offensive threats, especially against my team. As he's got stuff like that will pop up on your right about now, such as the Tapu Bulu, the Starmie, the Diggersby, the Nihilego. All of those good things. So one thing I want to point out, as you might be able to see here in the team builder, is that I did use my second and final free agency on to pick up Excelgor, dropping the Embor I had traded for the week before, just because Excelgor was really nice for my team. It gave spike support, base 145 speed is really nice, and honestly it's a pretty sick Z move user, as it does have a lot of good coverage that I can use it on, like Focus Blast, Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, all that good stuff. But yeah, so like I said, so going over Carnie's team, which should be on the right side of the screen, he does have Tapu Bulu, Heatran, Nihilego, Starmie, Hydreigon, Diggersby, Mega Banette, Conkeldurr, Plusle, Milotic, Cradily, and Pidgeot. And my team should also be on probably the bottom side of the right side, the bottom right corner. It's basically, again, the same, except I have Selgor instead of Embor. So as you guys can see, the 6 I am bringing are Reuniclus, Mega Diancie, Celesteela, Zygarde, Selgor, and Alomomola. So the first thing I looked at when I was looking through his team was that Nihilego did a good amount against me. The Starmie also did a pretty nice chunk against me, and then even like Heatran could do some decent work against me. So I decided like a more Spadef type Reuniclus with maybe some offensive investment, just to make sure that it's not able to be abused in terms of being like set up on. It can do a lot of damage. I have Psyshock, Focus Blast, Energy Ball, and Recover. Energy Ball is there for the Diggersby and the Milotic and under grassy terrain. Obviously I do have Focus Blast for it, but that's more for the Hydreigon and the Heatran, as with grassy terrain up, Energy Ball will do a ton to both Diggersby and the Milotic. And yeah, it's there to check Nihilego, it's there to check Starmie. I'm running Cobra Berry just because Hydreigon is a really big threat to my team, and I really need, I can, with this spread, I can actually take a Specs Dark Pulse without the berry, but I really don't, since I'm Magic Guard and not Regenerator, I really do need to be a lot more healthy than 7%, which is about what Dark Pulse knocked me into in one of my mock battles, if it was Specs. So, yep, that's the Reuniclus. Moving on, we have probably the biggest threat to his team. That is the Mega Diancie, and I have enough speed to outspeed Max Speed Timid Nihilego, which is basically one of the fastest things on his team. Outside of that, really, I only get outspeed by Scarfers and then also Starmie, I believe, yes. Those are the only things that can outspeed me. And I'm Dual Dance because Calm Mind really hits his team hard. Rock Polish can sweep his team potentially, depending on what he brings, and the combination of the two can just wreck some shit. Moonblast and Earth Power hit his entire team really hard. Calm Mind is mostly for the Milotic, as I could possibly run HP Poison, but if he's like Spadef Milotic, that's actually kind of annoying because it can take 3 Moonblast from Mega Diancie. Well, at least 2. It doesn't get 2 KO'd, and it actually might avoid 3 KO depending on some factors. But yeah, this can really sweep his team once I weaken and determine the Tapu Bulu set. When I determine that the conch isn't like Roselli Berry, and if it's like at a lower amount of HP. Once I determine that the Heatran is not scarfed if I didn't set up a rock polish, if the Diggersby isn't scarfed if I haven't set up a rock polish, all that good stuff. So yeah, Mega Diancie is the biggest threat to his team. Moving on, we have our first defensive Celesteela. Now technically, the Celesteela the last 2 weeks have been very, very bulky, a lot bulkier than the first two, but still not quite defensive. This one not only has little to none offensive investment. It is mixed defensive, and it has Leechy Toxic, very annoying. Flash Cannon and Earthquake to hit basically his entire team for lots of damage. The reason I'm running Flash Cannon over Heavy Slam is for stuff like Bulk Up Bulu. Plus Flash Cannon hits Bulu harder anyway, just because its physical defense is way higher than its special defense. But yeah, Leechy Toxic just deals with his team very well, as really his best switch into Leechy is Tapu Bulu and Cradily, which, you know, are immune, but then Flash Cannon / Toxic really do them in. The Celesteela is mainly there for the Tapu Bulu, so I don't get like destroyed by Banded Tapu Bulu or Life Orb Tapu Bulu. Defensive Tapu Bulu could actually be a problem because Nature's Madness, Leech Seed, stuff like that could be a problem, but I feel like he wouldn't bring that. I feel like the best set is like Life Orb or Bandit still, just because Bandit can still do quite a chunk with Superpower, and outside of Celesteela, my entire team cannot switch into Bulu. But moving on to the next Pokemon, we have Zygarde. Excuse me, I'm a little bit sick. I am Subtoxic with enough speed to outspeed Diggersby, Jolly Max Speed Diggersby, and then the rest in HP, and then Impish, and then a little bit of special attack. Even though I'm Impish, I didn't want to be a minus Spadef nature. And the reason why I'm 40 invested is just to give me a little bit more special attack. Because originally I was actually minus Spadef nature, but then my subs were getting broken by Milotic Scalds, and I was like, that's not okay. So I decided to make it minus special attack. Instead of putting the 40 in defense, I decided just to put the 40 in special attack, just so I'm about 9 points away from where neutral special attack, no investment Zygarde would be, but it's still nearly as powerful. It still does well over 85% to Tapu Bulu with the Sludge Wave. And then I have Thousand Arrows, just because Thousand Arrows is Thousand Arrows. Alright, so this next set, are you ready for some heat? Alright, we have Groundium Z Selgor with Bug Buzz, Mud Slap, Hidden Power Ground, and Sludge Bomb. Now let me just explain something here. Technically, by the rules of the NPL, Mud Slap is illegal because it says that all accuracy lowering moves are illegal. However, technically I would be using the Ground Z move called Tectonic Rage, which does not lower your accuracy, your opponent's accuracy. It's just a 100 base power special ground type attack with Mud Slap that has no side effects. So that's technically okay. And then just so I don't have to spam Mud Slap, just because first of all that would be technically illegal, and second of all it's 20 base power, so it's going to be doing like 15% to Nihilego and Heatran. Hidden Power Ground is there just so I have another ground move to spam, just so if he brings both of those, I can still hit the Nihilego or the Heatran, either one, pretty decently hard still with the Hidden Power Ground. Sludge Bomb is obviously there for the Bulu, and then Bug Buzz just, you know, it goes through Hydreigon sub, which, you know, I have run into a few sub Hydreigons in my mock battles, and they've been pretty annoying. But yeah, and then I'm timid max speed because I outspeed his entire team, and even some of his Scarfers like Heatran and Diggersby I would still outspeed by quite a bit, so that's really nice. And moving on to the final member of the team, we have a mixed defense Alomomola, Wish, Protect, Scald, and Toxic, just because it's pretty nice for his... I mean, it can do some... I mean, it's pretty nice. Check the Heatran. The Heatran could be carrying Z-move Solar Beam, but I could Protect, and even though it would still be like almost 100 base power through the Protect, it still wouldn't be doing a terrible amount of damage. Actually, it might be doing... Nah, it would be doing less than a super effective hidden power grass. So yeah, it wouldn't be doing that much. It's also really nice for the Diggersby. This is probably my best Diggersby check on my team, because Diggersby really can't hit it outside of wall charge, which obviously because of Alamomola's huge HP stat, that's a lot of recoil taken by Diggersby. But yeah, I think that's it for the team builder section. I will see you guys with the battle. And here we are, guys, with the battle. Now, as you can see, Carnie chose to bring a pretty interesting team. Honestly, I expected... I mean, he had about 8 to 9 Mons that could definitely come into the matchup. I did foresee that Tababulu might not come, even though I did prep a little bit for it. Like, if I didn't have... I mean, if I truly didn't expect it to come, I probably wouldn't have brought Defensive Celestial. I would have brought a little bit more of an offensive one. Something that does interest me is the fact that he brought Mega Bennett. I really feel like Nihilego would be a better brain, just because between that and Starmie, I would be really, really pressured, as Renaclus is there to check both things. So, you know, the fact that I'm not Regenerator means that I would be forced to recover up a lot. You know, that's a free switch into Hydreigon, yada yada. But I still do need to watch out for the Mega Bennett, because Carnie loves that Mon, and he brings Cotton Guard, Calm Mind a lot, and that actually is kind of spooky if I don't play around it right. So I gotta watch out for that. Never thought I'd ever have to play around a Mega Bennett in the NPL before, but you know, you never know what you're gonna play when you play Carnie. He's a good battler, and he's definitely very creative. Let's use that word. He's very creative when it comes to his some of his sets. So, but enough of my rambling. Let's just get right into the game. So he leads off with his Diggersby. I'm actually going to lead off with my Zygarde. Now, scouting for the Scarfed Ice Punch, I'm going to go into my Alomomola. Now, he crits me. Luckily, no freeze, which means I don't have to go for Scald or anything. I am Rocky Helmet like I was in the team builder. Just want to pause right there. That roll right there on the Ice Punch confirms that he's not banded, and he's since he's not Life Orb, he probably is not a boosting item at all, which leads me to believe that he could be Scarf Diggersby, more of a defensive Spadef Tran, and then a Specs Hydreigon or Sub. That's my current. That were my current thoughts when I was going through the game. But it turns out a little differently than that. So right here, I'm going to Toxic as he goes into his Baynet. And right here, I'm thinking, okay, well, this Baynet's not that much of an issue anymore, as I actually get up a Wish right here. And I'm going to actually go straight into my Diancie, as it's my best thing to take this on. And if he wants to go for a Shadow Ball, that wouldn't do much, and I have a Wish coming back in. And right here, I'm just going to set up the first CM. And I honestly thought that I could possibly win if I got up another CM, and then maybe a Rock, or at least this Rock Polish. I thought I could possibly win. But he reveals the rest here as I go for Moonblast, just trying to see what he wanted to do. Just because I couldn't quite win, because if he had Mach Punch on the Conch, then after another Shadow Ball, I'd be in range. As he turns out to be Rest, Crow, Baynet, he gets a Calm Mind right there. And now, if he gets Shadow Ball, it won't kill me, but it'll knock me really low. And he actually gets another Calm Mind. So a little bit unlucky with the Sleep Talk rolls, although some of those Sleep Talk rolls allowed him to live another Moonblast. So right here, he reveals the Balloon Heatran, and I know that I cannot... I cannot win with Mega Diancie until that balloon is popped. And but luckily, at the same time, he doesn't have a lot of good switches to Mega Diancie. And I'm actually going to put it on slow because we're on normal, just because this game turns out to be over 40 turns. Just a little bit of a spoiler. But I need to slow it down a little bit to explain my thought process a little more. So he goes for the Flash Cannon there. I felt like that was Zygarde was my safest play, just because if he went for Fire Attack, I resist. There was no way I feel like he was going to click HP Ice, just because I had Aloe that could also switch into this thing. The reason I didn't go straight into Aloe is because I valued Aloe a little bit more than Zygarde if he did click Toxic there. So right here, I'm going to kind of hope that, Carnie kind of overlooks something sometimes, so I'm going to kind of hope that he thinks that 1,000 Arrows doesn't go through Balloon. Plus, like, damage, I get damage on something. But, Carnie's a little smarter than that, and he's going to go into his Conkeldurr, and since I have no attack investment, it's going to do not that much, and that reveals that he's pretty bulky Conkeldurr, like probably near max HP, I'm pretty sure. And so right here I go into my Alomola, and that knockoff does a decent chunk. And I'm going to go for a Wish here as he goes for the Drain Punch, and he gets a crit. So right there I'm thinking, okay, that did a lot of damage for a like, that would have done like 36%, which was a lot more than what the roll he should have gotten off of knockoff. So knockoff did 27. So, just doing basic math, that means that he should have done around 33% with this Drain Punch, and the roll, like, he could have just gotten a high roll there, okay, and that Drain Punch crit, but that's like 35%. So I'm a little curious there. And he also says in the chat, please give me cuts. I want the power. So, I'm like a little skeptical here of his set. So I go for Wish, and then I go for Protect as he reveals, okay, he goes for Drain Punch again. And right here I go for another Wish just to scout, as he goes for Thunder Punch, and I calc that damage, and that is 100% Iron Fist boosted. So I go for another Protect just because I can't live anything from that range bar or knockoff, but there's no way he's going to go for knockoff there. And I have two plays here. I could have gone for the Scald, and if I had gotten the Scald burn, I would have been very, very set for pretty much, this game would have been a lot easier, but at the same time, that's risking 30%, whereas Toxic is guaranteed, as long as I don't miss. Toxic was guaranteed chip damage on this Conk, which was really nice at this point in the game. And so he goes for Thunder Punch, does a little bit. Now right here, I believe, oh wow, I should have really, right here, I make kind of a misplay. I didn't expect him to have Ice Punch, which, as you can see, he ends up revealing on this turn. But I felt like, because since he had Ice Punch, that means he doesn't have Mach Punch, which means his only priority he has, since the Bayonet was Crow, Shadow Ball, Crow Bayonet, Crow Net. That means that the only possible priority he could have is on the Diggersby, and at this point I'm still thinking that could be Scarf Diggersby, just because he hasn't brought in Hydreigon yet. Although the fact that he hasn't brought in Hydreigon yet makes me feel like he's not sub and probably not specs at this point. So maybe I think during the game I thought that maybe it went from changing from that Diggersby is Scarfed and that Hydreigon is sub or specs to maybe they're either both Scarfed, or the Hydreigon is Scarfed and the Diggersby is maybe, I don't know, Assault Vest. Definitely not Banded or Life Orb, because it didn't reveal Life Orb damage and it didn't do enough to be banded to my Aloe. But another reason why that play was kind of bad for me was I should have really gone for the Protect. I don't know why. I could have sworn I did go for Protect, not looking back at it, but maybe I just rushed a little bit. Thought he would click Thunder Punch. Maybe I thought I had gone for Protect. That's really weird. I'm pretty sure I thought I went for Protect there, but gotta look ahead to the future and not make those plays in the future. Gotta make sure I click Protect. Maybe I thought that he was either gonna go for Thunder Punch or make a double into Hydreigon or something. I don't know. So right there I lose Zygarde, which really sucks because once Conk was gone, he really didn't like switching into 1,000 Arrows that much, just because Conk was by far his bulkiest thing to take 1,000 Arrows. Unless that's like Fat Hydreigon, which again, I don't know the Hydreigon at this point. I don't think it's even touched the field. So he takes Toxic damage. So my best play here is going into Reuniclus, because I don't know if he's I don't know if he's Roselia Berry, and if he was Roselia Berry, he actually lived from there. So I just, took all the risk out and went into Reuniclus because I know while I do lose my Braviarys, I do kill the conch after Toxic, so actually Alomomola gets that kill. So right here I go into Alomomola, and as he goes for Dark Pulse, and that's not Specs damage, and I go for Protect, and he goes for Dark Pulse again, and then I switch into Celesteal, and he goes for Dark Pulse again, so that's definitely not Specs damage at this point. After the rolls in Aloe and the Celesteal, I know that's not Specs. It doesn't even look like it's boosted at all, just like the Diggersby wasn't boosted at all. So I'm thinking he's actually Scarfed. Now I'm like 100% sure that he's Scarfed, because he's not doing a lot of damage, and he's keeps on clicking Dark Pulse. So I'm going to stay in and go for a Leech Seed, I believe, just to get a little bit of my health back, as he just continues to click Dark Pulse. He's pretty adamant on continuing this. And so right here, I believe I go for the Flash Cannon on the incoming Diggersby as I crit him. And I thought, when I first saw that damage, I thought that was Assault Vest. Carnie told me after the game that it was just like really bulky Diggersby. I probably should have calced, but I honestly just thought from that damage that Celesteal was a little bit stronger than that. But I gotta take into account that max HP Diggersby is probably actually very bulky, and I'm defensive with like no investment into special attack, so that's probably why I didn't do that much. So right here, I make an interesting play. I let my Celesteal take damage, and the reason why I did that is just because Celesteal really has a hard time beating the rest of his team, just because Heatran can hit it with a fire move, Hydreigon could possibly lock itself into Fire Blast, Starmie could have Thunderbolt, just because the thing that Celesteal was there to backup check in the conch is now gone. So really Celesteal doesn't have any use, so I stay in on the Wild Charge as I go for a Leech Seed. Probably should have gone for the Flash Cannon there, just because Flash Cannon would have what's the word? It would have killed from there, but I, just in case he wanted to go into like double back into Hydreigon, I just thought Leech Seed was the play. So right here, I'm going to go for a Flash Cannon right here, and it's going to do 21% to Starmie, which is, nice damage. And I believe I just go for a Leech Seed right here because I'm happy with sacking Celesteela. So I miss one Leech Seed, okay. That's fine. I can just fire off another Leech Seed, and as long as he doesn't flinch me with Dark Pulse. And then I can probably live another Dark Pulse after that. Except no, I missed a second Leech Seed. So I'm forced to sack off my Celesteela right here, as Celesteela was not able to quite do what it needed to do. And then, okay, let's see. I go for Moonblast. I bring in that Naked INC on the Hydreigon since it was locked in Dark Pulse. He sacks Diggersby. Right here, I thought about just popping the balloon. And honestly, looking back, no, I actually went for Flash Cannon here. A future turn, he goes for Toxic, predicting my switch. So I'm going to go for Scald right here, just trying to break the balloon. Probably should have fired off Toxic, but I was just in the mindset to break that balloon. Right here, he misses a Hydro Pump, so it kind of makes up for the 2 Leech Seed misses. But at the same time, that means Reuniclus gets to stay healthy. So it can continue to check Starmie. But right here, I make an interesting play. I know this was my only check I had left to Starmie, really, because all my Pokemon... Well, it depends on if he's like Life Orb Thunderbolt, like Alomomola at this range does not like taking those. So I decided that I can easily take a Dark Pulse since he's not Specs. Even if he was Specs, I could take one. And Focus Blast was a roll to kill. I think it was a roll more in his favor, but I still had a chance to kill. And actually, it might have been... I don't know if I calced with my special attack investment. I don't know. I might have to go back and calc to see if it actually was a roll in his favor or not, because I might have calced no special attack investment. I don't know. We'll have to... I guess I'll find out after I finish recording this. But, so I'm here. I'm praying for no flinch, no miss. I don't get flinch, but I do miss. So I guess that Focus Blast more makes up for the Hydro Pump, because now Reuniclus is dead like it should have been. But at the same time, now those 2 Leech Seed misses are still there and present. So I'm going to go into my Dynasty again because, again, he just has no switch-ins for it. Everything gets 2 KO'd or OHKO'd at this range, as
If he went into Heat Trend, Moonblast plus Earth Power would have annihilated it once the balloon was gone. So right here, I go into Alamola. That turn was the turn I actually thought about clicking Moonblast just to break the balloon and try to win with my Z Mudslap Selgor. However, I kind of chickened out and went into Alamola as he did predict me this time. If I had gone for Moonblast there, I think that would have basically been game. Depending on what he predicted, as if he'd gone... Well, if he had stayed in on the Earth Power, then I would have won, because he's forced to lock himself into something. He locks himself in the Dark Pulse, Mega Diancie wins. He locks himself in the Flash Cannon. Either a Selgor or Alamomola just stall him out. But yeah, so I kind of wuss out and go into Alamomola as he predicts that with the Toxic really nicely. So nice play on his part. And right here, I'm just trying to break that balloon. He knows what I'm trying to do. He knows that at this point, I can't afford to go for Toxic if he stays in, because that would benefit me, or that would, I mean, if I went for Toxic, that's more a losing play. There wasn't enough reward for the risk in going for Toxic, just because if he stays in, not only is it a useless turn for me, and I take a lot of damage and almost lose my Alamomola, but at the same time, then the balloon is still there. So there was a really good play on Carnie's part to go into Hydreigon, because there was no way, unless I was crazy or bad, that I was clicking Toxic on that turn. So right here, he goes for Dark Pulse as I go for Wish. Luckily, he doesn't flinch me, but he does crit me. However, that's kind of nice, because it allows my Diancie to come back in at full health, and now I get a kill here, because I either kill the Hydreigon, or like I do here, or if you went into the Heatran, I Moonblasted that and then Earth Powered it, and then I won with Diancie again. Or well, probably a Selgor, because I would probably sack this off to a Flash Cannon. So right here, I go for the Moonblast, and he goes for Flash Cannon, that kills me. So if I wasn't Z moves Mudslap at Selgor, I could have been like Z move Focus Blast, but that actually was, I think, a roll on this. However, if he's truly like very fast, and from that damage on his Alamola, my Alamomola, I know that he is in fact offensive. So as long as he's not like max HP, then I guarantee kill him from this range. But I'm pretty sure he would have at least some speed, just because he would want to outspeed probably my Celesteela if I was a speedy Celesteela. Probably maybe want to outspeed a slower Zygarde, which probably would be the case. But because I do have the Z moves Mudslap, I am actually able to pull this game out barely by the skin of my teeth, despite a lot of the hacks and that one turn he tossed me on my neck when he clicked Ice Punch on my Zygarde. We are able to pull out the 1-0 victory. Now, that's why I said in the team builder section that just because he was 0-4, that does not mean he was an easy win, just because he had a really good team still, and Carnie at times can really shine. He's very up and down. Sometimes he's down, and this season has been a lot of downs for him. But even though he did get benefited a lot by the hacks, he still played incredibly. I did not say that word right. Incredibly. So he definitely deserves praise for really stepping up his game. This was really a must-win game for me, because if I had lost, I would have been 1-4, and I really need to beat both Carnie, which I did, and Cloud next week to kind of cement myself at least from the bottom two, because those two right now are the bottom two. So if I can pick up a win against each of those, I can at least probably guarantee that I won't be bottom two. So I'll at least have a chance, if I get third to last place, to fight for my major spot. And after that, after Cloud next week, that's our next week's opponent, the New Jersey Dwebbles. We play, or Jersey Dwebbles, I think either works. We actually have like 3 tough weeks. We have Zazo, Gypsy, Zazo, Iron Flash Gaming, Gypsy Keen, and then Chris Togavor, who are right now actually the top 3 teams in the league. So
that's going to be kind of tough. So I really need a win next week, and then I need probably to win at least one out of those 3 games. So let's see if we can just take it one game at a time, hopefully pick up the win against Cloud next week, and then continue this, hopefully this hot streak that we might have started, get back to 500, hopefully also improve that -7 differential, because that's right now that's the most harmful, because there's a lot of 2 and 3 teams actually. But the -7 differential actually still keeps us in the relegation zone for now. But yeah, that's about it. I've been TrevCL. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like if you did enjoy, and make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up with my NPL videos as well as my other content if you enjoy. But yeah, like I said, this is TrevCL, and I am signing out. Peace, guys.